A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today it's our 22nd lecture on powder X-ray diffraction. Course is X-ray diffraction techniques and course code is CAM 5134. Dear student, the key concepts of our today lecture are: what is synchrotron radiation, properties of synchrotron radiation, what is synchrotron light, what are X-rays, what are hard X-rays, what are X-ray used for, experimental techniques, X-ray diffraction at synchrotron sources, storage ring, storage ring components, synchrotron light sources, evolution by generation, booster synchrotron, Linux beamlines, and in the last of today lecture is magnets in the storage ring. Now we start from what is synchrotron radiation. Synchrotron radiation is electromagnetic radiation emitted when charged particles, in this case electrons, are accelerated readily using magnetic field. Specially designed magnets are arrangements of magnetic magnets produce radiation with specific desired properties. Magnetic configuration include simple bending magnets or array of magnets called undulator and wigglers. This is the diagram of bending magnets, and this one is for undulator and wigglers. Properties of synchrotron radiation. As already explained, the electron bunches emit radiation as they are rarely accelerated by the dipole magnets. This radiation is contained within a fan-like region. Now this fan-like distribution of radiation is quite different from that of the radio transmitter, which obviously needs to transmit radio waves in all directions. The reason for this is that with the synchrotron, the electrons are traveling very close to the speed of light. For example, at 2 giga electron volt, their velocity is around 0.999 of the speed of light, and the electron mass increases to 4,000 times its rest mass. It is a consequence of relativity that at such speed the spatial bounds of the synchrotron radiation are contracted to a narrow fan in the forward direction of the electron bunches, typically 0.3 milliradian in the vertical plane. However, since the electron bunches are circulating horizontally, there is a continuum of such fans spread out over an arc so that the final fan is wider horizontally than vertically as illustrated above. This then represents one of the great advantages of synchrotron radiation, that it is condensed into a small angular fan, thus imparting such greater intensity and collimation than can be obtained from conventional laboratory sources. But what is this radiation? As already remarked, it extends from the radio frequency to the X-ray regions of the electromagnetic spectrum. Although we will be principally interested in the X-ray region, such radiation is often referred to as white since it contains all wavelengths. Its performance is measured by a power spectrum, which is a plot of radiation intensity versus wavelength. A typical version is shown here. This is intensity, and here is the wavelength in angstrom. This is a plot. This characteristic shape is common to all dipole radiation. It shows a maximum typically at about lambda is equal to 10 angstrom and spreads out either side, slowly on the high wavelength side, termed soft radiation, all the way to the radio wave region, and rather abruptly on the short wavelength side, termed hard radiation, since it penetrates matter more easily. The intensity appears to be measured in strange units, and this therefore requires some explanation. All forms of electromagnetic radiation shows both wave-like and particle-like properties, and so sometimes we may prefer to describe the radiation as a stream of particles rather than as a propagative wave. We refer to these particles as photons, which have discrete amount of energy given by hc over lambda, yet another fundamental principle of physics. A common goal is to maximize the number of X-ray photons of a desired wavelength hitting a sample, and so the intensity of a synchrotron radiation beam has been traditionally expressed in units of photons per second per 0.1% bandwidth per milliradian square. This is so that comparison with other sources can be made, counting for the time of collection per second. that the white source contains all wavelength per percent bandwidth and that the radiation is spread out over a fan per milliradian square. It is customary now also to refer to brilliance per photons 0.1% per bandwidth per square milliradians per square millimeter, whereby the effective size of the electron bunches per square millimeter is also taken into consideration. Whatever the units, one should realize that we are invariably talking in terms of number like 10 to 12 photons per second, and this can represent an enormous transmission of energy. A point of some concern with fragile specimens. The radiation also has some other remarkable properties. It is horizontally polarized in the plane of electron orbit and polarized above and below the orbit. As the schematic below illustrates, whereas with laboratory sources, the X-ray electric vector vibrates in all directions, perpendicular to the propagation of the X-ray. With the synchrotron, this vibration is horizontally polarized. This has advantages which can be put to use in both synchrotron diffraction and spectroscopy. Finally, the X-ray beam is not actually continuous in time but fires in extremely short bursts. This is simply a property of the electron bunches. The X-rays are produced only as the bunches passes through the dipole magnet. Depending on the number, size and speed of the bunches, each flash typically lasts for 100 picosecond, 100 into 10 to minus 12 second, and is repeated typically every 1 to 300 nanosecond. 1 nanosecond is equal to 10 to minus 9 second. This time structure to the radiation can also be put to use in certain specialized experiments. We should finish this part by summarizing the 5 main features of synchrotron radiation. It is intense. This can enable measurements to be conducted at great speed and with superior statistics. It is highly collimated, mean divergence in the order of milliradians. This results in less wastage of radiation in its passage through the optical components toward the sample and greater eventual resolution in measurement due to its spatial precision. It has a smooth continuous spectrum. This gives a choice of conducting experiments with white radiation or offering any single wavelength by the use of monochromators. It is horizontally polarized. It has a precise flashing time structure. All these features, except the last, are regularly exploited in synchrotron powder diffraction. Now we discuss what is synchrotron light, and first of all we discuss what are X-rays. The ESRF produces so-called hard X-rays at wavelength of 0.10 to 0.01 nanometers. X-rays are electromagnetic waves like visible light but situated at the high energy, short wavelength end of the electromagnetic spectrum between ultraviolet light and gamma rays. Their wavelength at around a tenth of a nanometer. A nanometer is 1 billionth of a meter, mean 10 to minus 9 meter, is comparable to interatomic distances, which makes X-rays suitable for the study of atoms and bonds. X-rays were discovered by William Roger in 1895. Today, they are used extensively in medical imaging because they have a high penetration depth through material and are selectively absorbed by the parts of the body with the highest electron densities, such as bones. The principal difference between synchrotron light and the X-ray used in a hospital is the brilliance. A synchrotron source is 100 billion times brighter than a hospital X-ray source. This is the electromagnetic spectrum comparing the size of object that can be studied with various techniques. Here is the size: meter, millimeter, micrometer, and nanometer. And these are the different types of waves like radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. This is a part of the visible light. What are hard X-rays? The ESRF produces X-rays of high energy called hard X-rays, which have wavelength of 0.10 to 0.01 nanometer, are energies in the range 10 to 120 kilo electron volt. In synchrotron science, it is more usual to speak of energies. Because of their higher energies, hard X-rays penetrate deeper into matter than soft X-rays, those with energy below 10 kiloelectron volt. The synchrotron X-ray beam can have other valuable properties, including time structure, a flashing beam, coherence, a parallel beam, and polarization. In addition to being absorbed by a material, X-ray can also interact with the atoms, giving rise to diffraction or scattering of the X-rays. X-ray absorption can also be followed by re-emission of the energy absorbed, for example as fluorescence. These interactions with matter are used to gain information about the composition of a sample, including the type and location of individual atoms within it. This is synchrotron radiation, and here is the brilliance, photons, and seconds, millimeter squares, milliradian square, 0.1% bandwidth. And here is the era, like 1900, 1920, 1940, 1960, 1980, 200, 2000, 2020, and these are the different generation of X-rays. What are X-ray used for? Mean different for experimental techniques. The fundamental parameters that we use to perceive the physical world, like energy, momentum, position, time, correspond to three broad categories of synchrotron experimental measurement techniques, like spectroscopy, scattering, imaging. By exploiting the short pulse length of the synchrotron radiation, each technique can be performed in a timing fashion. Like here is the electron source, electron orbit gives X-rays, and it passes from different optics. Here is the sample, and here is the detector, which result in the form of or give diffractogram. Here, when X-ray diffract from sample or interact with the sample, result in spectroscopy mean energy, scattering mean momentum, and imaging mean position, and dynamics mean times. Again, we see this diagram here. Source, electron, orbit, X-rays, optics, samples, detector. Energy means spectroscopy result in different form of spectroscopy. Momentum means scattering in different forms of spectroscopy, characterization technique. Similarly, position mean imaging result in these type of characterization technique, and in case of dynamics mean time resolving occur in these different characterization techniques. X-ray diffraction at synchrotron sources. High intensity X-ray beams generated by synchrotron sources allow the structures of very complex molecules to be determined. Much more intense X-ray beams than are available from laboratory sources can be obtained by using synchrotron radiation. Synchrotron radiation is produced by electrons circulating close to the speed of light in a storage ring, and is typically several orders of magnitude more intense than laboratory sources. Because of their size, synchrotron X-ray sources are normally national or international facilities. Diffraction equipment located at such an X-ray source permits the study of much smaller samples, and crystals as small as 10 into 10 into 10 micrometer can be used. Furthermore, data collection can be undertaken much more rapidly, and more complex structures, such as those of enzymes, can be determined more easily. A synchrotron is an extremely powerful source of X-rays. The X-rays are produced by high energy electrons as they circulate around the synchrotron. The entire world of synchrotron science depends on one physical phenomenon. When a moving electron changes direction, it emits energy. When the electron is moving fast enough, the emitted energy is at X-ray wavelength. A synchrotron machine exists to accelerate electrons to extremely high energy and then make them change direction periodically. The resulting X-rays are emitted as dozens of thin beams, each directed toward a beamline next to the accelerator. The machine operates day and night with periodic short and long shutdown for maintenance. Now we discuss storage ring. The storage ring is a tube 844 meters in circumference, where the electrons circle for hours close to the speed of light. The tube is maintained at very low pressure, around 10 to minus 9 millibar. As the electrons travel around the ring, they pass through different types of magnets, and in the process produce X-rays. Units called RF cavities resupply the energy electrons have emitted as X-rays. A storage ring is the same thing as a synchrotron, except that it is designed just to keep the particles circulating at a constant energy for as long as possible, not to increase their energy any further. However, the particles must still pass through at least one accelerating cavity each time they circle the ring, just to compensate for the energy they lose to synchrotron radiation. This is the whole picture of synchrotron. Here is the linear. Electrons are generated and accelerated in the linear, further accelerated to the required energy in a booster, and injected and stored in the storage ring. The circulating electron emit an intense beam of synchrotron radiation, which is sent down the beam line where different experiment has been performed. These are the different components of storage ring like dipole, quadrupole, sextupole, and here is RF cavity of storage ring. Now we discuss different generation of synchrotron light sources. First generation parasitic synchrotron radiation source from the dipole of an HEP collider storage ring. Second generation dedicated storage ring for synchrotron radiation, dipole radiation, and some undulators. Third generation dedicated storage ring optimized for undulator radiation, very high brightness. Fourth generation dedicated LINX driven free electron laser. Now we discuss booster synchrotron. This is a 300-meter long pre-accelerator where the electrons are accelerated to an energy of 6 billion electron volt before being injected into the storage ring. The booster synchrotron only works a few times a day for a few minutes when the storage ring is refilled. Every 50 milliseconds, it can send a bunch of 6 gigaelectron volt electrons into the storage ring. And now what is LINX? Here the electrons for the storage ring are produced in an electron gun, a device similar to the cathode ray tube found in older television or computer screens. The electrons are packed in bunches and then accelerated to 200 million electron volt, enough for injection into the booster synchrotron. What is beam lines? The X-ray beams emitted by the electrons are directed toward beam lines that surround the storage ring in the experimental hall. Each beamline is designed for use with a specific technique or for a specific type of research. Experiments run throughout the day and night. And now magnets in the storage ring. The storage ring includes 32 straight and 32 curved sections in alternating order. In each curved section, two large bending magnets force the path of the electrons into a racetrack-shaped orbit 844 meters in circumference. In each straight section, several focusing magnets ensure that the electrons remain close to their ideal orbital path. The straight section also hosts the undulators, where the intense beam of X-rays are produced. These are the different components of storage ring. First of all, focusing magnets, then bending magnets, and in the last are insertion devices, undulators. Dear student, here is the end of our today lecture relating to synchrotrons. And in this lecture, if you have any question or difficulty in understanding, you can send me your question at my email ID mmuslimchemist@hotmail.com. Thank you so much, dear student. Take care. Allah Hafiz.